A couple days ago, a video blew up of a track meet where one of the girls struck another girl in the back of the head with the baton as she was passed, which led to the victim suffering a concussion and possible skull fracture. It was pretty cut and dry what happened. With your own peepers, you could see it, you could process it, there was no smoke and mirrors, there could be no excuse other than I heard the Kingsman frequency and needed to attack somebody. Like, there is nothing that could explain it. Like, there's no deeper context to what happened. It was kaput. She attacked the other girl with the baton. And I thought that's where it would end. Like, okay, that was a really fucked up thing to do. She'll probably get in a lot of trouble for it. And while that does seem to be happening, there is an investigation underway. The girl who hit the other girl with the baton has come forward and done an interview crying about how people have misunderstood her and what happened, and going for a really interesting Hail Mary lie about how, like, you only watched the 9-second video, you didn't get the whole picture, and now you're being mean to me. You weren't thinking about my mental health. She actually tried that. It's so interesting. I just want to share it with you so you can form your own opinion on whether or not she deliberately hit the other girl, or if it was truly an accident, as she claims. But if you do form the opinion that it was an accident, you are way too fucking gullible. You probably also fall for crypto meme coin scams. Like, holy shit, it's so clearly not an accident. You see the track runner who hit another runner with a baton while running? That shit was foul. Yeah.
Have to see it's unimaginable unsportsmanlike conduct on the track. This morning, a high school track star is still recovering nearly a week after being hit on the head by another runner during a race.
Yeah, I mean, that's brutal. Honestly, that's fucking assault with a deadly weapon right there. From what I recall, she got a concussion and something else. There was some other injury she sustained from it.
Virginia State High School League Championships when the shocking incident happened.
That's when she hit me with the baton.
Watch again as you see the...
That is pretty degenerate. That's gotta be a case right there. That's gotta be. Well, those batons aren't plastic either. They're heavy. No, fuck, man. Of course they're not. They're like goddamn nightsticks. I ran a little track in high school. Those batons are not a joke. You can do some damage. The runner who hit her did a local news interview. It's on Wavy TV 10. Oh, okay, I'll have to check that out. Is she claiming it was accidental?
To see that they kept running and she not stop and check on my daughter. That was the part where I was like, it couldn't have been an accident.
The other runner...
It's definitely not an accident.
High School.
Tonight, a Portsmouth family says they're telling their side of the story in reference to a shocking incident at
their side of the assault, huh?
Meet that left one athlete allegedly injured after she claimed she was struck by a baton held by
allegedly injured,
high school senior Alayla Everett. Everett spoke exclusively to...
So, you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right?
Alayla Everett
What?
is a decorated athlete and senior at IC Norcom High School, rounding a curve on the track when they nearly collided with each other.
Okay, after a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit.
It appears intentional.
What?
Alayla says it was accidental.
But I know my...
What? Wait, that claim's nuts. Let's just toy around with that idea for just a moment. Let's say, because they are close, let's say it did kind of like get stuck on her for a moment. When she freed it, she brought it back and extended out. If she was just like readjusting to like start pumping again, there'd be no way she'd reach out and hit her with it. Like, there's just no way.
But Alayla says it was accidental.
But I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. I didn't have to see your first video, second video, 10th video. I know 100%.
Like, just look at that. You can't be... She even looking at her head, like, when she's striking. What do you mean? In every angle, it's so clear that it's an intentional baton blasting.
Qualified, a ruling that a local USA track and field official finds questionable. He says a play-by-play look shows that the Brookville athlete was running closely to Alayla.
If a person comes...
What? She's actually getting her with the why I oughta? She's charging it.
outside, they got to be a full stride ahead of me before they can cut in front of me.
The other family spoke with the news station in Roanoke asking for an apology from Alayla, something she wanted to do, but she says the other athlete hasn't been receptive, blocking her on social media. And
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought they were asking for an apology from the from the lady that got hit. You weren't even thinking of my feelings when you got a concussion when I hit you. I'd like you to apologize. Are you sorry yet? You've caused me a lot of problems. Got her with the R2 attack. Giroux. Yeah, the charged heavy.
In Portsmouth Public Schools says they will support whatever ruling comes from the league.
What's up with the fucking popcorn shrimp on the back here? What? Yeah, I think that's pretty clearly intentional. But I understand why she would try and, like, throw some air of doubt in it, because she could be facing some super serious repercussions. So, I get why she'd try with the tears and... No, it was an accident. I was stumbling. You're missing the context. Oh, if it was my kid, oh my god, yeah. Nah, that's just straight up... that is unbelievably dangerous. Getting punched in the back of the head like a kangaroo punch to the back of the head, that's killed people. Getting a fucking meaty wind-up baton alt to the back of the head? No. That's a case. 2 days ago it was tomorrow. Yesterday it was today. Now look at us. In the present. Today. And still no Epstein files. They treat these like Bubble Bass treats pickles on a Krabby Patty. Still no pickles, but it turns out he's just hiding them. They have the files, it seems, and instead of releasing it to the American public, they'd rather just give these binders that say Epstein Files Phase 1 to some influencers, so that way they can pose with it like a prized fish, where they're smiling and laughing about it like they're about to go to homecoming, instead of just releasing that information. It's so fucking weird. They're treating these extremely serious files with child sex traffickers in them as if they had just got like a baseball from their favorite MLB player who threw it into the crowd for them. It's just not being taken seriously. Not only by the people that have the binder, it seems, but by the actual GOP. I was going to mention this yesterday, but I decided to, sit on my swamp ass and just stew. We'll wait to see what they say about it tomorrow. Because I thought there was a chance maybe the House Judiciary Twitter account got hacked with this post. Like, surely they'd release a statement today, but no. They're just going to plug their ears and pretend it didn't happen. But I'm sure a lot of you saw yesterday the actual official House Judiciary Twitter account rickrolled the Epstein files. I shit you not. They posted this tweet, and when you click that link, it takes you to a rickroll. The tweet eventually got deleted, but it was up for hours. It wasn't like a brief thing that some random person scooted into the office and did as a joke. This was something that they posted and kept up for a while. This shit is so outrageous, it has my voice cracking. My vocal folds are left in disbelief like they just watched a David Blaine stunt. Except this isn't like a magic trick or an illusion, this is all very real. They are treating the Epstein files like some kind of joke. This is one of the most infamous child sex traffickers in American history, and they are treating it as if it's not serious. Pff. What? And now they're just not going to ever address that this happened. They're just going to ignore it. That's craziness. Now, like I said at the beginning, I didn't expect the Epstein files to be released today because it's been very clear that that's just not coming. And I think we're at the point where even if they do ever release the Epstein files, there is no faith left, no trust that they won't be tampered with. Like, heavily redacted. They did release some things yesterday, but it was all old information. It wasn't anything new. There was like a couple of like tiny new tidbits, but not really. And at the end of the day, like I said, there's going to be so little trust that this hasn't been heavily fucking flubered with. Made that word up, but it sounds like it could apply. Like, it's a Schmeckeldorfing, it feels like, where the information, it might not even be accurate anymore. Because this has been such an absolute clown show. You can't even trust it. I also just don't even think it's ever going to be released. Period. Like, this has been something that they just keep teasing over and over again, like Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it just, nothing ever comes. It all just fizzles out. And then everyone just forgets about it in like 2 days' time. And I'm so tired of that. They had said the information would be released yesterday, and it was going to be huge. Like, they hyped the shit out of it. This is going to be the Super Bowl of Jeffrey Epstein files. We finally have the whole kit and caboodle. This is everything, and there's going to be repercussions. People are going to be thrown in jail. People are going to be arrested. Well, that didn't happen yesterday, so they said it's going to be today. It'll be February 28th at 8 a.m. sharp. It's just the fucking pesky FBI director did a little, shady business over here, and, well, we're getting our handle on it, but it's coming 8 a.m. February 28th. Well, still not here. I didn't expect it to actually be released today, but, much like a growth spurt in my 30s, it would have been a nice surprise to finally have them actually release these things. And I feel like in a week, it won't be here. A month, it still won't be released. And eventually people will just forget that it was ever even mentioned. Or they might make like an offhanded comment about it like, oh no, we released those. What are you talking about? We stayed true to what we said. We released it. And it's just the information that's already been known for fucking years. With like nothing new added to it. Not what was promised. Not what they said was actually coming. With all the arrests, all the jail time, and all these new names and all this new information about these evil fucking people that participated in this child sex trafficking. That has still not been released. And there's still not been consequences. So, when is that ever going to be released? Is it ever? And if it's not, why do you keep pretending that it is? It doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's infuriating. It just feels like all of it is just not being treated seriously at all. The fucking judiciary just making an actual joke out of it, just mocking the Epstein files, really just taking the whole thing of child sex trafficking and boiling it down to a fucking rickroll. That is beyond deplorable. And then just saying like, oh, the files are coming. Nah, they didn't. So what? Like, it's just, there are legitimately, like, nothing is taken seriously anymore by anybody or anything, it feels. I fucking hate it. It's got me spitting. I am covering these monitors in saliva. I am just flabbergasted. I feel like I'm in rock bottom right now, like with the amount of spit that I'm doing here. But I can't help it. It is unbelievable. Let's just set aside this instance of the House Judiciary rickroll. Why in tarnation on God's green earth would you want your House Judiciary to be cringe meme lord Reddit tier losers making rickrolls in the year 2025 of our Lord on anything, let alone something as serious as the Epstein files? How is that not embarrassing? How is that not shameful? I'll stop yapping and ranting about it, but it is just mind-boggling that they can do that. And then nothing happens. They just get to pretend it never happened. They just don't even have the wherewithal to even mention it again or try and explain what led them to thinking that was a good idea. Or explaining why the Epstein files that they've promised are still not being released. It's so fucking dumb. It's really about it. See ya. This is like E3 for Taco Bell fans. We watched this last year too. They should have Jeff Keighley do one of these Taco Bell presents new menus at 54:30. Well, yeah, I'll get to the new menu, but what if they bring out, like T-Pain to, have a huge performance or something? I don't want to miss something cool.
Buddy, the CEO of Taco
Hey,
Bell,
RB.
Sean Trisvon.
The CEO of Taco Bell, let's go! They did have Doja Cat. You're telling me Taco Bell Presents had Doja Cat there? They resurrected the Taco Bell dog, I hear. Oh, necromancy? That's back on the menu. Let's go.
Importantly, I see Taco Bell fans. Give it up, Taco Bell fans.
Taco Bell enthusiasts! We're here.
This meeting, we've got an incredible audience. I just saw my boss's childhood idol, John Starks, is in the house. Where's John?
Wait, he's the CEO of Taco Bell, though. How could you have a boss? Who's your boss? God? Like, who's above the Taco Bell CEO? That has to be the highest level position in all of corporate America.
Live Moss Live last year in Las Vegas.
I remember.
We didn't really know what we were doing.
I watched it.
Was to be successful, but it turned out we did okay. We did okay with you guys as the fans. You guys are the most important. We had a lot of great menu items. And then we had some great media coverage from Barstool Sports. What they wrote is out. Apple
Hey, what? I talked about it too. Where's my Taco Bell shout out?
That was a great company to be in.
When you revealed your cantina menu, I almost showed whole.
Conferences where they did pretty good company.
Who the fuck didn't attend? Megan? Wow, that's a crazy last name. Megan Presepier? You think you're better than the Taco Bell Live Moss? You can just RSVP and not show up? You got some fucking nerve, Megan. You know that? You better hope they don't put you in a taco.
Let's take it backwards. That's pretty cool. Tacos in a burger world. He was trying to feed curiosity for the
Tacos in a burger world.
This ideal called Live Moss.
Barbie
For
energy.
us, Live Moss. So everybody will get this hat on behalf of the brand and partner with Max.
Hey, thank you so much for the hat!
pretty cool. And then also we have some Live Moss Live merch for you guys.
Yo, the swag bag. Put a fucking chungus on that thing and I'm sold. Give me some dank memes.
I forgot about you. I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and I want you guys to get really loud. I want them to hear you in Manhattan. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah. I'm so hyped.
1, 2, 3. Is Brooklyn in the house?
Yes! Yes! Did they hear us?
Oh my gosh, Ann Arbor in the house.
No, no Ann Arbor. Boo.
Okay.
We're not here.
Well, I grew up there, and my love affair with
Brooklyn
Taco
only.
Bell was actually I remember.
All right. I'll skip to the fucking
first
experimental
time I
menu.
ever-
Fine. We don't have to watch the whole thing. Holy shit, it's the Taco Bell kitchen. They even have the spectators. Good God. We get to see how the sausage is made. No, I'm not ready. The pearly gates.
Taco Bell's chief food.
You guys had absolutely no chill. Who remembers this guy?
I can't see him.
Yeah, so...
Who is it?
Guys, this
Oh,
was
fuck, I remember that bastard.
Like we made a few pies.
That dirty rat, he's supposed to be in jail.
But you guys had bigger... Maybe Thanksgiving? Like, this could be an awesome pie to bring to the family. Yeah?
Or just celebrate Shrek 5
Alright,
with that
so
bitch.
This time, since we
That
kinda
fit
know what
perfectly
we're
in line
doing,
with Shrek.
I definitely know what I need from you
Let
all.
me be your marketing
I need
guy.
your feedback. I want to know, since it's been on the menu, what if we took all that deliciousness that made it the icon that it is,
Oh, don't touch
and
it.
turned it into a bite-sized icon?
No, it's not ready for that.
A mini
Ah!
salad. Yeah.
I mean, that looks pretty good, I guess.
Okay.
Whatever.
And we will put some salsa verde on it, some fresh lime. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. All right. Okay. How about?
I'm a big bite-sized guy. I like bite-sized things.
I mean, so cool that
You
we brought this
bite-sizeify
up,
shit and I'm
right?
happy.
I mean, okay. So what if we took all the glory of the Mexican pizza, all those amazing tastes,
And we threw it in the
inside,
trash.
and then we wrapped it into a flaky, crispy
You made a pizza roll.
empanada.
Taco Bell, you have
And
just made a
maybe
pizza
some
roll.
Mexican
Get ready for the
pizza
lawsuit.
empanada. Yeah?
No, it's a pizza.
And then-
You can call it what you want. It's a pizza
I
roll.
mean, it needs a dip.
Totino's
right?
gonna be on that
You gotta-
ass.
You gotta dip that into the beautiful. So I want to talk a little bit about fire sauce. Any fire sauce fans?
Boo! I don't like
We love our
capsaicin.
fire
Boo!
sauce.
Take it off
So
the menu.
We've been thinking, what if we took the sauce?
Things that are
and
hot
we
make me
turned it
upset.
into a seasoning, and then you're gonna grow our own purple pepper and create the purple chili sauce. It is spicy. it's got
don't care, you said
green
spicy, I'm
chilies,
out.
It's got an ají panca,
You lost me.
habanero, it's got ghost pepper.
You're saying words
But
I don't
do
even
not
know.
be fooled by this. This is. Come on up. Woo! Come on, girl. Hi.
That's what I'm saying.
So good
Let me
to
make a
see
potato
you.
pancake for this
Okay,
restaurant.
This girl is so talented.
Watch the stock
so
price soar.
talented. From I Love Micheladas to her James Beard award-winning restaurant, Galagetza in Los Angeles.
I don't need the whole lore breakdown. I just want to see the new menu. Is it really 40 more minutes of the new menu? Or do they take like little detours? I can't quite tell. Winner. Taylor Frankie. What'd she win? A scholarship? You ate the most Crunchwrap Supremes in 5 minutes? Full ride scholarship to Harvard?
Okay, this might.
Oh, menu hack of the year. That was a competitive category. I would have won the Burger King one if they did that. If they had the budget for it. My fucking pink bismuth burger went crazy.
All except you, Taylor. Yeah, we're in a fight right now.
Okay, so I thought she was gonna do like a full performance. She cut a little promo for him. Not as cool.
Where we're gonna reveal.
They just bought her cameo.
Just take a breath. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
All of our try one of the Lux Craving boxes. Now, where are my Cantina chicken people?
I'm right here! I'm right here! That's a good menu!
Cantina chicken people!
It's me! You're talking to me!
Last year,
What do you want?
The new Cantina chicken menu, and you guys absolutely loved it. But we thought that we need to turn up the heat a little bit.
Alright, well you fucked it. I'm no longer a
The
Cantina fan.
chicken
Why?
menu
That was my least favorite
serves
part.
A little bit of a spicy side.
No!
It's a little bit
No!
more heat. So 4 days ago, we launched the new Caliente Cantina.
Son of a
chicken
bitch!
menu
That's
with
my
a
least favorite
brand new
Spanish word.
Caliente sauce made with red jalapeno
Damn
peppers.
it!
Now, where's my girl? It's a bean burrito. I like to add extra sauce on mine, extra red sauce.
How creative.
I like to add extra onions, and I like to make that baby grilled. Because if you're not getting everything grilled at Taco Bell, you're not doing it right.
Well, you really changed the game with that order.
So I'm gonna ask somebody what their Taco Bell thing is.
The fuck is that, man?
Because you were gasping for air. Take a breath, girlfriend. What is your Taco Bell thing?
Oh my gosh. I love to get a grilled cheese burrito.
Industry plant.
I like to swap out the rice
Okay.
for some seasoned fries.
Okay.
And then I like to swap out the chipotle sauce for avocado ranch.
Nope.
And then add pico de gallo. And I like to call it the Cali-Ash burrito.
Okay, I tried
Liar.
half of that, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so
They told you to say that.
Ashley has a thing. Does anybody else want to shout out what their thing is? Who's brave? Beefy Crunch?
It's called ordering just straight off the menu.
So you know what? We're gonna make Ashley's. If you are a loyalty member, you get to go into the app and you get to name your thing, Paul. You get to name the Paul's Beefy Crunch Burrito. And here's the cool part about that. When people buy Ashley's thing or Paul's
Oh my god, it's commission
we're gonna
based.
try to hook you up with some rewards.
Holy fucking affiliate
fun?
link.
Okay, get ready for fan style. We're dropping that later this summer. Now, Ashley.
Wait, what is that? So I can make Charlie's thing on there. And if you like my thing, you can place the Taco Bell order and I'll get Taco Bell rewards. I mean, it's kind of cute, I guess. It's like, yeah, actual Fortnite codes. That's kind of, I mean, I guess it's kind of adorable, whatever. And the employees will spit in your food after you order it. Oh, true. Can you imagine, like, the bad blood? No, we don't serve Charlie's thing here. No, you can't order that. Only Billy Mitchell's thing is permissible at this Taco Bell.
How about we put shredded beef inside a grilled cheese burrito? I heard some gasps. Does that sound good?
You can't, you're not allowed to do that. It violates the Geneva Convention.
Did anybody try the street chalupas? Cheddar cheese. So we're bringing back the street chalupas in steak and cantina chicken.
That's pretty
They're
cool.
not just going to be regular street chalupas. They're going to be toasted.
Wait, what was that noise? Run that back. Enhance.
What's on the outside of those little babies?
Going to earbuds.
That is toasted cheddar cheese. So we're bringing back the street chalupas in steak and cantina chicken, but they're not just going to be regular street chalupas. They're going to be toasted
That's 100% a fart. Someone just ripped the wet one. That is so fitting for a Taco Bell Game Awards ceremony. That's beautiful. Excellent work, Taco Bell.
How about we do a new sauce with the Taco Bell chicken nuggets?
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Mike's
it's
Hot Honey.
spicy.
We're going to partner with our friends at Mike's Hot Honey, but we are going to make a Mike's Hot Honey Diablo sauce.
Can you not?
The chicken nuggets.
What am I supposed to do with
You think
that?
we should do crispy chicken strips?
You know I can't eat spice, brother. You know
How
that.
about we put those crispy chicken strips? It's really refreshing, a little messy, but you guys should try it. So that got us thinking. Do you guys think that we should do more drinks? I mean, do we? It's not really loud enough. Do we think we should do more drinks?
I said yes, you need to fucking do it. Yes.
What would Taco Bell look like? I wonder.
Chad already spoiled it. They're
Taco
doing
Bell
a new
look like
Baja
if we just
Blast.
drinks?
Actually hype.
In Chula Vista and San Diego. But the question that I keep getting asked is, dude, where's the next one gonna be? You guys want to know?
It's gonna be in
Well, maybe
Florida?
not in California.
Tampa?
We open one right here in Brooklyn.
Man, I don't live there.
Moss Live, I present to you guys Live Moss Cafe #2.
They put it inside of the conference hall. This is where it's permanently opened. Wow.
Now,
Well, I don't really give a fuck.
if you're in the house tonight,
I don't go to
you
voice
get
crack. I don't go to
try
cafes.
Live Moss Cafe right there and try that back. You know what? I think we got a birthday in the house. Oh, can I get that one more time, please?
Where are they? Where are they?
Okay, maybe one more.
We have to give them the Taco Bell spankings.
The Crunchwrap.
Oh.
Our beloved Crunchwrap. The
It was a ruse.
hexagon of Taco Bell perfection. And how about we start that celebration right now? Okay? Go out to Taco Bell right now and try the new Crunchwrap sliders. Steak and
Man, if you want to celebrate it right now, how about you put a fucking Crunchwrap slider under my chair? What the fuck? If I was there, I'd be livid. I'd be doing big thumbs down right now. I wouldn't be doing any jazz hands. Come on.
Can I have some help from everybody that's watching online too, please? Okay.
Okay, here's my energy.
Product number 1. What about the chili cheese burrito? Should we bring that back? All my Midwesterners over there cheering. We know that we like the chili cheese.
You might want to calm down with that.
What about the caramel apple empanadas? Should we bring that back? Okay. Do I have some Double Decker fans in the house?
What the fuck, Taco Bell?
Okay, that's a year 2000 favorite. What about the 7-layer burrito? Deep cut.
We need to get this guy some more media training. Not the most optimal of hand gestures.
Wow! Full of surprises. Do I have any gamers in the house?
Yeah!
Do I have any fans of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in the house?
Yeah, that's me!
What is your name, my friend? David. David.
It's Ben.
Okay, David. I'm
bend over.
Okay.
Idiot.
So, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is one of my favorites. The tropical limestorm we all love turns 21 years old this year. That's right. Baja Blast turns 21 years old. And no birthday is complete without a birthday
Been around that
cake.
long?
So I just need a little bit of help. Can we all blow out the candles for Baja Blast, please?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
I did it! I blew him out! Oh my god, I killed him.
Baja Blast is 21. We think it should stay out a little bit later. So this year, we are launching Taco Bell's first ever new flavor of Baja Blast. Baja Blast Midnight. It is the flavor
That's pretty
of
cool.
the tropical limestone
That goes
that you
hard.
love with a burst of passion.
She's crying.
It's going to pair with everything that you love at Taco Bell. The first time we've ever launched a new flavor of Baja Blast. And you don't have to wait. Baja Midnight is coming to all of our restaurants this summer.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm literally waiting. I have to wait months. You lied. That was misleading.
Live. Thank you to everybody that's here. But I think we should do one more thing. Should we do one more thing?
Do one more thing!
One more thing?
Yeah, saw somebody in half up there. I don't give a fuck. Do something cool.
We know that you guys love cheese. I present to you the Queso Crisp Taco.
Interesting idea. That actually could go ballistic. Yeah, that's a big finale right there. That'll do. That's a mic drop.
Okay. That's really it. That's officially
Another successful Liv Moss moment. That's another one for the books. We win again. Today, a Kickstarter project was launched as well as a trailer dropping about the final years of Stan Lee's life and the elder abuse he was allegedly victim of. It's a subject I've talked about from time to time on the channel. A few years ago, I even made a video covering the exploitation of his legacy for the sake of shilling NFTs. That one was particularly evil, basically saying, you gotta put all your money into these NFTs. It's what Stan Lee would have wanted. Excelsior, am I right? You don't want to disappoint Stan Lee. Get our NFTs. It's shameful, and there were allegations of elder abuse in the later life of Stan Lee for a long time, and now today, this documentary has popped up from someone named John Bolerjack, who is a former assistant to Stan Lee, who's claiming he's had tons and tons of video evidence and footage of numerous times Stan Lee was taken advantage of, and now he's putting it all together for this documentary called Stan Lee: The Final Chapter, and he's launched a Kickstarter campaign looking for $300,000 to finish it. I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts right off rip before we even get into the trailer, as well as like a clip that dropped from it. To me, that feels really exploitative as well. You're telling me you've had this footage for years, incriminating evidence of Stan Lee being taken advantage of, and instead of releasing it throughout the years to spread the word about the injustice he faced or giving it to authorities about potential elder abuse, you've instead just sat on it, keegling it until now, compiling it into this documentary that you're now looking for $300,000 to finish, to pay for things like casting, wardrobe, hair and makeup, music composition, a soundstage space, visual effects. Like, what the fuck? If the goal is justice for Stan Lee, this feels highly unnecessary. I don't think you need a visual effects department on standby to cook up some CGI for it, you know? Like, you don't need Blur Animation Studio on the horn to do some kind of 3D render of like a reenactment scene or something. If you've got all of this incriminating evidence, it feels a little weird to be asking $300,000 from people to crowdfund a pretty bow to put on all of this and like elevate it to like a Hollywood production where they want a set constructor, like they want to build a set, like I don't know if they want to like recreate Stan Lee's home 1-to-1 or something, or you know, as well as like a sound stage, like like you refuse to release the footage unless everything, like all the testimonials can be filmed on like a Blackmagic Pro 45K camera or something. Like, I don't really understand it. To me, feels like it's also capitalizing off of Stan Lee's name, but this time from a different angle where it's highlighting all of the other people who also exploited Stan Lee in a different way. I'll show you the trailer, and you can obviously form your own fucking thoughts on it, but there's a couple things I want to talk about as well as showing you that clip that dropped.
My name is John Bolerjack, and for the last 4 years of Stan Lee's life, I was his assistant, his confidant, but most importantly, his friend. I traveled the world with him, witnessing firsthand the incredible highs of his legendary career, but also the heartbreaking lows.
John Bolerjack was someone that was close to Stan Lee, and he has filmed a ton of things around him and the people around him as well. So a lot of the footage is basically showcasing how people interacted with Stan Lee, those closest to him, and how they viewed him as kind of like a tool to make money off of. I'll play the rest of the trailer in a moment, but I want to show you this clip because I think this clip is a really interesting look at not only John, but a lot of what Stan Lee was subjected to.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, are you ready to give a riveting speech? You're going to change lives.
I thought I was finished with that. What do I have to do now?
It's never over.
I'm not on the crazy pills, right? Like, I'm not boofing stupid potion, right? That's John Bolerjack that's saying that to him. You can see his hair, his voice is the same. That's John. And he's the one telling him that it's never over. Like, John, I'm assuming he was trying to be, like, sarcastic there, but John, even at the time, was privy to Stan Lee being taken advantage of, but just sat by and let it continue and let all of those people around him continue to exploit him. To me, it feels really weird. You've got all of this footage, you are aware of these things happening where he's being taken advantage of, and instead of sharing that footage at the time or contacting someone to try and help, he just lets it persist and then holds on to this footage for years after his death. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. Like, it feels off. And he also has something else that I found pretty mean-spirited to say to Stan at the end of this clip.
You what? I said I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
No. Once we're done, we'll get out of here.
Now, what do I do here?
Same thing, talk about you. We'll make some new questions.
But I don't have the...
Yes, you will. Yes.
You get your money's worth out of me.
Every single penny.
Penny, like 5 pennies.
So this guy telling Stan Lee what he's going to do, even without Stan Lee really knowing and really wanting to, he is still pushing Stan Lee to do it. And then Stan Lee says, you get your money's worth out of me. And he says, every penny. And then John Bolerjack comes in and says, pennies, like 5 pennies. That's just kind of mean. Like, I don't know what the joke was supposed to be there. I don't know why he would come in at the end and say that on the back of that after we just watched Stan Lee get pushed to do something he wasn't aware of and not wanting to do by somebody who's basically controlling his appearance here. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Stan spent his final years enduring mistreatment, manipulation, and betrayal at the hands of a few very bad actors.
Is there any way to get us out of that San Francisco thing? Or do you feel we gotta do it?
Gotta do it. At the time, I didn't have the power to stop it. but I did have a camera and I filmed everything.
Whoa, watch out!
It's extremely sad watching this. Elder abuse is a fucking horrid thing. And John claims that at the time he didn't have the power to stop it, but he had a camera, so he filmed everything. Well, you were compiling evidence. You could have submitted that evidence to authorities, and there's a very real chance nothing would have come from it. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of really evil people that would have been able to squeak their way out of it, but you still would have tried. You did have the ability to have this footage come to light. You could have released this footage yourself online. There were a ton of options with this footage outside of just now bringing it to the public's attention while asking for money to finish a movie around that footage. I understand there have been many cases where a documentary has been instrumental in justice for whatever case it's been covering, but I just can't understand why during all of the discussions around is Stan Lee being abused by the people closest to him, there was even a lawsuit about elder abuse and Stan Lee, during all of this, and it did get a ton of attention, why John Bolerjack with his footage wouldn't have come forward to contribute to that discussion with evidence that, yes, Stan Lee is being taken advantage of. Yes, there are people close to Stan Lee doing things that he doesn't want to do or know that he's doing. I don't understand why back then, with all of the footage he had, he wouldn't have spoke up during those times. It just feels weird that he's had it for so long and is now just bringing it to the public during a Kickstarter pitch.
Now I'm asking for your help to finish the film and finally get justice for Stan. This documentary includes first-hand accounts from key witnesses, including comic book legends like Rob Liefeld and Roy Thomas, as well as many others who saw the chaos and unethical acts. This isn't speculation, it's all on camera. Undeniable.
This is old Stan Lee coming at you. No, you're not old.
Irrefutable.
I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
No ambiguity.
I think it's pretty clear from industry veterans that have talked about it to the footage that already exists outside of this documentary, since this hasn't released, so we don't know all the footage in it, that we can say with a pretty high level of confidence Stan Lee was taken advantage of in the later years of his life by tons of people around him. I think that much is pretty clear, in my opinion, and I have no doubt that whatever footage John has here will be really helpful in holding a lot of those evil assholes that were exploiting him accountable. I'm hoping that there will be a lot of good that comes from it. But this approach of just squatting on the footage for many years and then only bringing it out if enough money is given to finish the film is very off-putting. And looking at the Kickstarter rewards feels really weird too. Let me just hold your hand through what $50 gets you in the project. A stunning photo comic capturing rare, candid moments of Stan Lee like you've never seen before. Shot by filmmaker Jonathan Bolerjack, this collection offers an intimate look at the legend's life beyond the spotlight. Featuring 11 different covers, each showcasing a hand-picked image curated by its respective sponsor. Every book comes signed by Bolerjack, making it a must-have for true fans of Stan and his legacy. What? So each copy is signed by John, which means it's a must-have if you love Stan Lee. Where have we heard that nomenclature before? Spoiler alert, it's the NFTs that were shilled on Stan Lee's Twitter page a few years back. There are so many reward tiers here, more than I've ever seen in a Kickstarter project. I shit you not, I think there's close to 40 or 50 different reward tiers. It's crazy. Here's one for $500 where you get basically a CGC slabbed Stan Lee image. It seems like the reward system is all about incentivizing collectors. Every reward tier has some kind of element that hypes up the collecting appeal of the reward tier for the Kickstarter. It's very, again, weird. Here's another option for $500 tier where you can get a tour through Los Angeles with John, where you'll visit places where bribes were offered, schemes were plotted, and millions went missing, stories that have never been told till now. What? So he'll take you on a tour of places where Stan Lee was exploited for $500. He'll take you on the Los Angeles tour of Stan Lee being taken advantage of. I just don't know how that can be perceived as anything other than slimy. It's basically reducing the elder abuse Stan Lee suffered to a tour for you to go on for $500 with this guy who's treating it like it's some kind of like attraction. Like, it's just so not okay, I feel. For $8,000, you get an invite to the Emmys and the Governor's Ball. All right. Like, it goes on and on. Like, I'm not kidding. Like 40 different reward tiers is an understatement. I think there's probably closer to like 60 or 70 different tiers of Kickstarter rewards here.
With your help, we can finish the film, expose the truth, and give Stan the justice he deserves.
As I mentioned, this footage that he has most likely will showcase a lot of the horrible things people have done to Stan Lee, and many times he was taken advantage of. But I don't feel like the goal of this film is to get justice for Stan Lee. It looks very different when you actually go through the page, all the rewards, all of the things that the money is going towards, and also when you remember the fact that he's had this footage for so long and is now just bringing it out for a Kickstarter pitch. I find it very weird. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about it. That's it. So yeah, you're looking at an addict, but not to drugs, something much harder and much more noble, drug dealing. It feels good to supply the community with product that they really want and treasure. It really, I'm like Santa Claus, but with smokable items that they really enjoy. Schedule 1's got me in a titty twister. I love that game so much. And yesterday, I made a video talking about an investigation that's been launched into Schedule 1 on the grounds of potential copyright infringement. It was launched by a publisher called Movie Games, and they have a title that also competes in this genre called Drug Dealer Simulator. It's a very competitive genre now. It is cutthroat out here. It's like rival cartels going at each other now. And over the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of new developments here in this season of Breaking Bad Gamer Edition, with a statement from Movie Games themselves, as well as the developer of Drug Dealer Simulator, Bite Runner, coming forward. Also, I want to make a mention of this. I talked about it on stream briefly, but I changed the title of yesterday's video covering this. I initially called it a lawsuit that they launched against Schedule 1, because that's how a lot of other media reported it, as a lawsuit that had been launched. But it's not 100% accurate to say that. It's an investigation that's been launched, which does start the process of a lawsuit if Movie Games decided to pursue it. But right now what it is an investigation after they've said they've identified infringing material in like the narrative, mechanics, UI. I also saw other words expressed saying they identified characteristics of unfair competition. But anyway, there's not an official lawsuit they filed. It is an investigation, which yes, could lead to a lawsuit later on if Movie Games decides they want to go down that path. Nintendo did something similar pretty recently with Pow World, where they investigated Pow World and then later down the line launched their lawsuit. So it could happen, but from their statement, it sounds like that's not what they're trying to do. Dear gamers, we'd like to address the Schedule 1 Drug Dealer Simulator situation and share some facts. 1. There is no lawsuit. 2. It is not our intention to prevent Tyler Video Game Studio from selling or developing their game. 3. There's an investigation into the nature of similarities between the games, since a preliminary legal analysis indicated there might have been an infringement. 4. The analysis and investigation were necessary in light of repeating opinions that the games are very similar. By not investigating it, Movie Games, being a publicly traded company, could face severe consequences for negligence. Let me just take a brief pause here. That one is really confusing to me because obviously there's going to be similarities between the games. They're in the same fucking genre. That's to be expected. There's nothing copyright infringing about sharing mechanics in the same genre. There's only so many things you can do to make fucking weed, right? But you're saying that repeating opinions are what drove you to this about how similar they are. How does that work when you filed this investigation the same day Schedule 1 launched? They filed this on March 24th, the launch day of Schedule 1. How many repeating opinions could there have possibly been? Like, it's not like this is something that had been simmering and bubbling over like speculation. Did Schedule 1 infringe upon Drug Dealer Simulator's copyright? Like, that wasn't a prevailing thought process. This happened immediately when Schedule 1 launched. My best guess is they're referring to their legal analysis that had this repeating opinion that they share a lot of suspicious similarities. But that doesn't really pass the smell test for me either, because there's other drug dealing games out there that I think share more in common with Drug Dealer Simulator than Schedule 1 does, and they didn't get hit with an investigation by movie games. And another thing that really baffles me, why just Schedule 1? From what I've seen, I don't think Movie Games has gone after other drug dealing simulator games, like Weed Shop, for example, a game near and dear to my boners. Weed Shop and Drug Dealer Simulator also share a lot in common. Like, a lot. They do. But Weed Shop didn't have Movie Games knocking on their door, taking a peek under the hood to make sure everything was, A-OK there with no infringements. And while I understand companies have to defend their copyright, otherwise they're going to lose it and it's a big problem for them, it's something I'm very well aware of, I've talked about it before. This doesn't really feel to me like a case of them doing that just for the sake of, doing their due diligence, making sure, no one tries to hit them for negligence, because they haven't done this for any of the other drug dealing games in the genre, like Weed Shop and other ones that do share similarities, a lot of similarities with Drug Dealer Simulator. It seems like it is specifically targeted at Schedule 1, and none of the others. Anyway though, to number 5, they said, the above was communicated only via SP, a stock market communication system where we are obligated to publish such information for full transparency. Not publishing it would also be a case of negligence. From there, it was picked up by media and in some cases wrongfully reported as a lawsuit. And then number 6. The above is handled only by Movie Games, the publisher, not Byte Runners, the developer of Drug Dealer Simulator. The developer is not involved in it whatsoever. There's no ill will towards Tyler. We even emailed them best wishes shortly before the release when the game was already huge, but before the investigation was deemed necessary. However, we are obligated to perform this investigation, act accordingly to the scope of the infringements if it's confirmed, and inform the public about it via SP. So, there's quite a bit I want to say here. So number 1, they're 100% right on. There is no lawsuit. They have not filed a lawsuit. It is an investigation. Could lead to a lawsuit if they choose to, and that's something they mentioned at the end. They might go down that path, or maybe they'll ask Tyler to change certain things about the game. Who's to say? But there is no lawsuit. That is correct. But my 2 cents, this really does feel like they are trying to find some wiggle room, some ground to stand on for action against Schedule 1 in some capacity. I think number 2, they're probably absolutely right about that. They're not trying to have it, get taken down or have Tyler not be able to sell it or anything. Probably not going that route. I think they're trying to look for some kind of middle ground of you change these things or you infringed upon this copyright, so here's, a price you'll have to pay for that. So something in that realm is more what I think the goal is, because this doesn't feel like just normal routine, business as usual here, because they haven't done it for other drug dealing games that share plenty of similarities with Drug Dealer Simulator. But what I really want to make a mention of here is that the tone of this is far more friendly than the investigation seems. This seems like they're trying to just, hey, we love Tyler and what he's done with Schedule 1. We just had to investigate because we're a publicly traded company and we want to make sure everyone knows that we're doing our due diligence. There's no negligence here. We're making sure it's just, some coinkydinks. We're in the same genre. It's just going to be a couple of little similarities, but nothing infringing or anything. That's kind of how it comes across here. But in the investigation, they have kind of a different tone to it. Instead of saying, we're just checking things out to make sure, they explicitly use the word identified. In 2 instances that I can find on the investigation report, there has been a mention of they identified unfair acts of competition, and that they have identified several elements that were used that infringed on their copyrights, like in story, mechanics, and UI. That's very different than just saying, hey, we're just checking things out. Hey, we're just doing a little perusal here. Maybe it's a mistranslation. I think that's definitely possible here from the initial reports. But when you say things like you have identified the unfair acts of competition, you have identified several elements that were protected by copyright, that's already saying you have found things that you believe there is an issue with. And now you are investigating further in case there's more or to analyze the extent of it. Whereas in the statement, they portray it as though this is just something they need to do as a publicly traded company because there's similarities and they want to ensure there's no copyright infringement. They talk about how there may be copyright infringement, so they just needed to check and make sure. Whereas in the investigation report, they do explicitly say that they identified the usage of several things that were protected by copyright. So, like, to me, that's just a little contradictory. I think that conflicts a little bit there. Now, again, it could be a mistranslation. I do think that's definitely possible. We'll have to wait and see what shakes out from all of this. But there just is a difference to them saying, oh, we just do this because these games are really similar. We want to make sure everything's okay. Versus, we identified things that are not okay, and now we're investigating further. Those are just two very different things in my eyes. Now, as I mentioned, the developers behind the game also came forward. They said, in light of the recent Movie Games vs. Schedule 1 legal investigation controversy, I would like to state that we, Byte Runners, the development studio behind Drug Dealer Simulator series, do not have any ill intentions towards neither Schedule 1, Tyler, or the game community. Actions taken by our publisher, Movie Games, are part of their internal policy and business interest, which we have no influence over. We were not informed about their plans and are also surprised by this course of action. We are currently in talks with Movie Games on the matter. For now, we do not want to publicly neither condone nor approve the actions before these talks come to any conclusions. And then they go on to congratulate Tyler for the success of Schedule 1 and mentions that they want everyone to just support whatever game they choose and want to make their game the best it can possibly be. Byte Runners themselves obviously had no hand in any of this. This was solely a decision made by Movie Games, and Byte Runner comes out to confirm that and even mentions that they were just as surprised as everyone else was with this action that Movie Games has taken here. Now, I saw some people upset that they didn't fully come out with, like, you know, the iron fist and say this was really bad for Movie Games, but I understand it's a very tricky situation for them to be in because that's their publisher. They can't just bite the hand that feeds them like that and potentially just lose their studio like that. That's not something that any developer can reasonably do. So I think that's a very unfair criticism of Byte Runners. I think this statement is totally fine. And there's something in here that I find very interesting about how this all unfolded. Byte Runners said they were just as surprised as everyone else, meaning Movie Games must not have consulted any of the developers about this copyright infringement that they believe was potentially happening. How the fuck would the publisher pursue this without even consulting the developers of the title? It's not like they were in the lab, like, fucking coding it themselves, making the game. How could they possibly say that something was potentially stolen from them or toes were stepped on in regards to their copyright with Schedule 1 without ever even talking to your own developers about it? That feels so weird to me. I don't know if that's weird to anyone else, but I thought that just sounded really backwards. Now, I did reach out to both Byte Runners as well as Movie Games to ask more specifics about what they think could even potentially be a copyright infringement between these two titles, and why this action would be taken against Schedule 1 but no other Drug Dealer Simulator game. Because I truly can't wrap my noodle around what could possibly be a copyright infringement here in the first place. Drug Dealer Simulator was not the only drug dealing sim game on the market. There's a handful of them. There's nothing super unique about that concept. There's nothing there that I believe is exclusive to just Movie Games property that no other game can ever use without stealing from them. Like, it's not like Spider-Man, for example, right? It's not like Tyler made a Spider-Man ripoff where instead of slinging webs from his hands, he's slinging webs from his feet. Then you've clearly got yourself an issue there. Here, it's similar mechanics, sure, because it's the same genre. There's only so many ways you can be making these drugs and distributing them on the street, using a phone to contact people. Like, all of these things are, of course, going to be similar. So I'm just so curious to hear from them what specifics they're even looking at in regards to a potential copyright infringement. I just don't get it, because I don't think it should have ever even come to this in the first place. Maybe it's all a huge misunderstanding, but I still just don't even see why the investigation would be led underway in the first place, stating that they've identified, you know, copyright infringing uses of story mechanics and UI. Like, that, to me, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm hoping to get some answers from them soon, and I'll let you all know if I do. Anyway, I wanted to just give you an update to this. That's really about it. See ya. Yeah, 2 videos on the same topic today. Big whoop. You want to fight about it, coward? Knew how to poop, had to learn how to fart. Doesn't matter. I am glued to this rabbit hole here. VO3 is the latest AI generative video tool from Gemini, but it might as well be from Cyberdyne, because this is the first steps into the AI future takeover, like Skynet here. And what's being pumped out with VO3 is crazy. impressive. And in a few cases, it's close to indistinguishable from a real authentic video. You'd have to be laser focused with your keen peepers and have your fucking Sharingan activated sometimes for these. And what I was talking about earlier is its effect it'll absolutely have on the YouTube ecosystem, where Let's Plays will be pumped out the wazoo, because there is a proof of concept right now from VO3 that it can very closely mimic real Minecraft and Fortnite Let's Plays with a face cam, a YouTuber, and the gameplay. I won't just regurgitate more examples of that. There are plenty to choose from here, the most notorious being that red-shirted cartoon character on ketamine right there in front of the Minecraft gameplay. There are some that are even more convincing that don't look like they're hitting a K-hole really hard. Point is, it's very good at pumping out fake Let's Plays. It's also very good at pumping out other kinds of popular YouTube content like those street interviews.
What's one move with AI that makes haters go crazy every time?
Oh, y'all gotta give them that. This is wild. It's over. We are cooked on that thread. You get me?
This genre of content is so fucking cringe that this AI video feels just about as natural and organic as the real flesh, blood, and cringe that does this. Like, I swear to God, the people that do those videos are always like the exact same. What is your body count? And it feels almost as robotic as this AI video. So this one is actually looking to have people putting fries in the bag right now from that genre of content. Like, this is the wooden stake to the vampire's heart, because they can pump these street interviews out endlessly. And that and plenty more. Really, they can make endless YouTube content and flood the platform. And like I said, it's not perfect. You can still tell something is awry. It's still a bit eerie, but it's good enough that I think a large number of people will be none the wiser. And also, a large number of people aren't even paying that much attention to the videos they put on in the first place. So this will absolutely encapsulate them. It's just getting very concerning. But the one thing AI will never be able to emulate or replace is good hygiene. Motherfuckers out there smelling like trash, practicing horrible hygiene, it's time to fix that with our soap. Use Cheeky.com for the best soap ever made. I wanted to briefly mention that because we're doing a big Memorial Day sale that we're running until Monday, where if you use code MOIST, it's 20% off everything. So now's the perfect time to really upgrade your hygiene. Anyway though, I didn't want to just focus on the YouTube side of things when it comes to this technology again. That's what I did earlier today. Instead, I want to talk about it in some other areas, most notably in commercial productions. So many of you know, commercials use actors and they have sets and they have a budget and they produce commercials to advertise products, you know, the whole shebang. I don't need to explain to you how that shit works. I don't need to fucking spoon feed you that with the here comes the airplane on commercials. Point is, commercials have always had humans as a part of selling the product. But VO3 is currently just out of the box almost good enough to fully replace that. And there is a producer that made a little proof of concept showcasing its capabilities even this early on.
I tried everything for my depression. Nothing worked.
Every day felt heavy. I felt trapped.
Then I tried Puppermin.
Our prescription helps your body secrete a special pheromone that attracts puppies.
I took the pill before bed, and when I woke up, there he was, the love of my life.
The pill does not target depression directly, but we've found that it's really difficult to be depressed when cute dogs show up at your doorstep.
Now, obviously, the video itself is a joke, but the concept is not. As he mentions in that tweet, he claims that he used to spend like $500,000 making pharmaceutical commercials. Meanwhile, he was able to generate this minute 16-second ad for $500 on VO in less than a day. Do you know how appealing that is to businesses, corporations that are constantly looking for ways to shave some doubloons off their bottom line and, you know, cut corners and save money? This is like a wet dream to them, because why would they hire tons of, you know, contractors as well as booking a location and setting aside shooting dates, editing, all of that, the whole kit and caboodle, when instead they could just hire one talentless goober to type some prompts into VO3 and generate something that's good enough for people to see and maybe get interested in the product. Like, it's just so cheap. Like, it is like 1/1,000,000th of the price of a normal commercial, and it's not like this takes a skilled laborer. Whereas doing commercials, that's a whole industry of specialized professionals. That's expensive. And you also have to hire actors, whereas this cuts out everyone except for one guy And anybody can do that job. No matter what kind of dogshit delusional propaganda the self-proclaimed prompt engineers try and shove down your throat, this is a very easy thing to do for anybody at all with access to it. So this is going to be an extremely appealing option for these companies because the only risk is a reputational hit where people criticize them for using AI in their advertisements. But because this technology is becoming more and more normalized, more and more people are being accepting of it anyway. So they can save a ton of money and eventually people will stop caring, and they know that. They're banking on that. So as the guy in the tweet here says, as PJ says, why would they be spending this kind of money when instead they can spend like $500 and still generate a commercial that's good enough? And not only that, they can generate a new commercial every day with this. So they can have an entire marketing campaign for a fraction of the cost and 20 times the output. It's just, that is going to be where these greedy corporations go. And like I said, this is VO3 just out of the box. So here's another example from someone named REK, just showcasing how good the sound is here in terms of like lip syncing and characters talking, all completely generated through VO, nothing added.
We can talk.
No more silence.
Yes, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk with accents.
Oh, I think that would be marvelous, Fran.
Yes, it is very fun. But
Yes, it is very good.
It's very fun.
I can talk.
Yes.
We can talk.
Yes.
Yeah. We can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
Yes.
We can talk. No.
Yes.
We can talk as cartoons.
This is amazing.
Imagine all the narrative possibilities.
And imagine all of the people that no longer will be able to work in any of these industries at all because no corporations are going to hire people when instead they can just generate the content. That's the actual future and the hard pill that a lot of these AI enthusiasts refuse to swallow. I keep seeing this argument of like, now art is accessible to everyone. You stupid troglodyte, it always has been if you were creative enough and had the drive to. It's the same thing with like AI art, how like a lot of people claim AI has given people, everyone the ability to be an artist. That's always been in your possibilities, like that's always been on the table. If you just had the drive, pick up a fucking pencil and you could become an artist if you learn. This just does it all for you. The AI in its current state can be used as a tool by real artists and real filmmakers, 100%. I have seen like some positive usages there for some things, but the bulk of this will be from corporations looking to save money by just not hiring people at all and just cutting them out. Using AI to generate art is not a tool. Like you cannot compare this to like a tablet or like digital art that a lot of people try and compare these apples to oranges. It's just delusional cope because you can't grab a tablet and a stylus and set them down and say, draw James Corden fighting Vegeta. Because nothing's going to happen. It's not just going to have like a fucking mind of its own and just draw it for you. It's not the goddamn Disney Channel bringing this shit to life with magic. You would still have to grab that stylus and draw James Corden fighting Vegeta. Whereas using these AI programs, if you tell it, draw James Corden fighting Vegeta, it will. It does it for you. You don't do anything. It's not a tool. It just does what you tell it to do. It'd be like me calling myself a pilot because I flew on a plane to Dallas once. I may not have been behind the controls, but I said I wanted to go to Dallas, so I got on the plane and the plane took me to Dallas like I said. I guess I must be a pilot. So it's a terrible comparison, and what it's going to be used for is replacing people. That's why so much money keeps getting funneled into it constantly. Because as PJ mentioned, why are you going to hire people for commercials or short videos or anything like that when instead you can generate infinite number of them for an infinitely lower cost? Another thing PJ mentioned that I think he's right on the money with. He said, I've been a professional filmmaker for 15 years and it's getting very difficult to tell if this is fake. And then he played another AI generated video that's also pretty impressive. And then he said, in what world is not all media generated within 2 years? Unfortunately, I think he's pretty close to the money here. I don't think it's going to be all media. I think that's a little exaggeratory. But I think in the next 2 years, we're going to see a huge shift in the amount of AI content where on specific places like YouTube and Twitter, a ton, maybe even the majority of the content you consume is non-human. It's artificial. And that shit sucks. It's going to get to a point where the amount of artificial content drowns out the real human being driven content. Like, it's going to be a novelty to find like an actual person behind videos or whatever online. There was already that report that I've mentioned numerous times here about how almost half of the internet now is actually bots. Like, there is a 50-50 shot the person you're interacting with online is not a person at all, but instead a bot. It's already out of control, and now with this technology getting so good, it's only going to continue to spiral the problem more and more out of control. So it's hard for me not to get like lost in this rabbit hole because it is so fascinating. This is a crucial moment in human history we are living through right now. Legitimately, like that is not exaggeratory to say. This is that big. So I wanted to talk about it. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. I know it's become very trendy to make fun of Katy Perry recently, especially after that cosmic voyage she went on like a week or two ago where they shot her up in a rocket ship and she spent a handful of minutes in space. I spend longer in space when I take NyQuil. And then she had the very cringe moment where she tried to be like really emotional about it, so when the rocket came back to Earth, she got out and kissed the ground, ate a little dirt as if she had been gone for years, like she was fucking Matt Damon stranded on Mars in the movie The Martian. All in all, it hasn't been a great couple of months for the Katy Perry brand image, but at the very least, she can almost call herself an astronaut. In the same way I can almost call myself 6 feet tall, even though I'm actually 5'6". But anyway, I'm not here to just harp on all of these things. Instead, I'd like to talk about a segment from her most recent concert that I got sent, and I am just blown away by. I want to be clear here so there's no confusion. I'm not even a Katy Perry hater, really. And I'm not even cosplaying as one either. I just think she's done some very silly things recently that obviously make it difficult to fight the urge to shoot a couple of spitballs. It is what it is. But, like, I don't even really dislike her or her music. A lot of the songs she's made in the past I still like to this day. I still think some of them are kind of bangers. Of course, gun to my head and I'm asked to name a single one of her new songs of the last decade, I'm getting my brains blown the fuck out. I don't know any of her new work, couldn't tell you, but I still like some of her classics. With that out of the way, I've got to show you this little piece from the concert. I'm going to have to mute the audio because it's a Katy Perry song. So instead, I'll be doing my own a cappella cover of it while showcasing the choreography and the performance. They say, be afraid, you're not like the others, futuristic lover, different DNA, they don't understand you, you're from a whole nother world, a different dimension, you open my eyes, and I'm ready to go, lead me into the light. Kiss me, kiss me, infect me with your love and fill me with your poison. Take me, take me, wanna be your victim, ready for abduction. Boy, you're an alien, your touch so foreign, it's supernatural, extraterrestrial. I'm ashamed to admit it, but this cover took me far longer than any sane man would ever pour into something so trivial. But I'm happy with how it came out, and that's all that matters. So anyway, this was Katy Perry at a performance last night in Mexico for her song E.T. There's a lot to unpack here. I cannot believe that this got the green light for the big stage. Her tickets are expensive. I was looking at the prices to attend one of her shows. They are not cheap. And if I went there and saw this, I would be the happiest camper on the planet. This is like the moonfall of concerts here. This shit is incredible. It looks like how I used to play with my friends when I was 8 years old with lightsabers. It's so good. I don't know why she's moving around like she's in slow motion or she's like 80 years old. Maybe she spent too much time in space so her body needs to reacclimate to Earth's gravity. Couldn't tell you. But the way she's maneuvering around the stage with the lightsaber, cinema. I don't even know where to begin. So she's being chased around by anchor arm aliens and she's got the Darth Maul lightsaber out, but she didn't even do the bare minimum of like twirling it around or anything. She just holds it static. Like an American Gladiator with the giant Q-tips I would have at least thought there'd be like some twirling or something there to make it interesting and entertaining, but no, it's just like she's basically T-posing across the stage. So she's running away from like the Power Rangers villains, and then there's like the space ninja on the wire system. Maybe there's like some metaphors and symbolism there that escape me with my tiny little reptile brain here, but I love it at surface level where it's not really a fight. She like runs at him, and then he does like a flip over her, and then she like just holds the lightsaber out and he grabs it and he's like, ah, and gets like defeated from grabbing it. And then she fucking sends him into the rafters up there. And then she runs back around like through the aliens, kind of like holding it out like she's jousting. My god, I forgot the showdown with the raid boss there where they were exchanging blows back and forth. It was like a Dragon Ball Z beam struggle between the two of them there, but luckily Katy Perry squeaked it out, and then she ran through the other aliens. Yeah, I don't know what it all means. I'll be honest, maybe I'm too stupid to pick up on what the actual messaging here is of the choreography, or I guess maybe lack thereof choreography on her part. Maybe she just didn't feel like doing a whole lot there, but it is visually a masterpiece, because that shit goes crazy. At the very least, it looked like a lot of fun. No doubt about that. I also saw some of the other like videos and pictures from the event. The whole fucking thing looks out of this world. I think the 11 minutes she spent up in space must have like rewired her neurons or something, because she is on some other shit right now, and I love it. Like some of the other pictures I saw, she was riding in on like, I don't know, like a 3D printed Pokemon thing. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It looked like something I would have made in Maya or Blender back when I was a digital art student in college before I switched to exercise physiology. And she's like riding it around briefly, and then there's like another one where she's on like the wire system and she like goes out and then like comes back in. It's I want to go to a Katy Perry concert now. It was just watching the highlights of it has been an experience. I can only imagine being there for it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So yeah.